All right, so I had a little trouble getting this apart, which I don't mind that. I would rather that than it just be so loose that it just falls out. I can deal with this, but usually when I have shoulders on here, I can get it apart. When the tight ones, I can get them apart. I have methods, but on this one, I kind of had to finagle things. So this has been working the best. I just clamped 2 blocks of bamboo here to protect the bow, and tap on these, and it's coming out nicely. So just go side to side as if you're tightening a lug nut on a vehicle, and it's going to come right out. So I know it's moving, but just for, you probably won't be able to see this line. I'm just going to mark a line here, and that'll tell me how fast it's moving. Oh yeah, nicely. It's got to be careful not hit that resin and glass, but I've bumped it several times, and it's so tough, it's not making any dance. And there it is. All right, so that's popped out. Let's take a look. And this is something also, if you're making these. Wow, I had that on there tight. Another thing, here's a little tip if you want to be a professional builder of any kind. Buy the C-clamps with the fine thread screw. You can get them much tighter. You have more leverage. The ones with the big wide threads on them, you can't get them tight because when you try to tighten them, they're moving so much with each spin that you can't get them that tight. So these are my favorite. These are pro grade 100 millimeter 4-inch C clamps. These are hands down my favorite. I get them from Big R Supply. They're expensive though, if you need a bunch of them. But yeah, fine thread C clamps are the best. So we've got this out. So this is really cool, and this is another reason why I round these edges over on this cap. Because if I were to leave those sharp, then when I have a tight tenon and I pull it out, it's going to catch and it could blow that cap off, which that wouldn't be good. So just while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to even round them over a little bit more so that they'll never be a problem whatsoever. So this came out really nice, and I'm really happy with how this bow is turning out so far. So what I'm going to do now, I know that this sleeve is all the way up to here. That's how deep it is. So that's plenty deep. I don't need it that deep, but I purposely did that so I would have room to cut this straight and make this look good on the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do now. So right here is the original riser comes to. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean that off, make that look really good straight across there. So for that, we will head over to the, I don't know what, probably the bearing sander. So I need to be about 4 1/8 here. So that one's set. I'm just going to make a mark here. Let's see here. There we go. Just want that to be even. I was going to do it on the bearing sander, but I really think this will work better. So let's kind of square this up. How this is going to be in here. That is a 90. Is that a 90? About a 90 to that. All right. Yeah, that looks really good. That's a perfect 90 there. You can see already it's coming around. This will tell you also which side I need to take the most off or more off of. So okay. Oh, that is looking perfect. Make sure. Okay, coordinate. Exactly the same. However, I was looking at this, and I need to take just a tiny bit more off this side, so this side will be longer when it's actually finished. Oh, and also, I need to square that up. So let's do this a little bit. More off this side. Nearly there. That is perfect. So that's nice. So you can see this side's a little bit thicker. So I need to take that down some more. But that looks really good. Okay, next step, before we even take that down, we're going to go back and we're going to fit the tenon and make sure that slides in and out perfectly before we do any more carving. So let's do that next.
Filming now, so behave.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. Okay, this is going to be just a little different than anything I've ever done before. Oh, I can see. So right off, that's too thick to go in there, but so we're going to take a little off of there. I'm going to get a fresh piece here. And this is what I do. Really not too much complication here. You just take off material until it fits. For some reason, I've done hundreds and hundreds of these sleeves, but for some reason it just feels different to me when there's no shoulder. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna, oh, I know one reason. I know one reason right off. Because this here inside is not rounded. That's throwing me off pretty bad. So we can do a lot for ourselves just by rounding the inside here. So whenever I make them with a shoulder, I purposely make that inside radius round, and it looks better. It slides in easier. Let me see here. I'm going to roll this up and then just slide that in there and round that all the way around. I don't want to go too far because I want to thin that up yet. So probably will go in pretty easily once I have this done. And then I want this to be smooth here too. This will have a little bit of an edge on here when I'm done because, like I was saying, if you make that fade to nothing, that resin will get brittle. It might break off. Okay. Now we'll try this. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Slides in a lot better. But I'm too tight yet, which is good. Okay, now we pull it off and then we look for the areas where it's got white on it. And that's where we sand. And I'm going to get a new piece of sandpaper. Here. It might get a little complicated when I go to taper this. To be really careful. Okay. Most of it was right here. And I found that this old fiberglass, it does not sand fast. It's really tough, stout stuff. So you really have to. Now this stuff, it sands fast. All right, let's try that. Blow this off. Okay, I want to see about how far in I am. So I'm going to make a mark here and right here. So I'm that far in and I need to go to the short side. Do this guy. Here we go. So that's how deep I need to be. Quite a ways. So I think I'm going to use some 120 to get that off. Okay, so I did some sanding on it that would bore everybody to death, so I didn't show it. But I think I've got it here. I'll try this. Just a tiny bit more up there. Okay, now all right, let's try this. And there we are. So you could hear that snap when it went home. That's it hitting that full contact to that bottom of the tenon, this tenon coming down in, the sleeve wrapped around it. So this here is now a two-piece and it feels really good. The thing I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to coat this with CA and brush it on in case I raised any glass fibers that could potentially cause problems, and it'll also tighten this up just a little bit more, and then I can sand carefully where it's high and get it just an absolute perfect fit. You want to, the goal is to make your socket and tenons fit so tight that they're easy to get in, but you also feel that sort of airlock. There's a little pop. When you pull it out, there's a little pop of the airlock. That's a perfect socket and tenon. I don't get them every time, but quite a bit of the time, at least half of the time, I get the airlock pop. You don't have to have it that good to be very, very good, but that's when you know you've hit perfection. So let's go ahead and remove this now and coat it with CA. Okay, so I strung this thing up and we have a pretty significant problem. And it was in here before, I just didn't address it. Probably, if I had it to do over, I might address it before I made the two-piece. But I put it to the side and then I forgot it had this problem, which is a mistake on my part, but it's twisted. The bottom limb is twisted. You're probably not going to be able to see it in the video, but it's too twisted for me to draw it. So, and I noticed that whenever we first got it, but it also has reverse tiller. So we're going to have to take care of those two problems and see if we can get it right. I hope it doesn't take too much weight off. I have never tuned an all fiberglass bow like this, so we'll see how it responds. But what we're going to do, first of all, is, so it's pulling to this side, so I'm going to see if it has more glass here. So 285 thousandths there. Keep the same spot. Oh wow, yeah. So 272 thousandths there. So that's 13 thousandths of difference, which would make a lot of difference in the strength. So I'm going to first try one method of straightening. I don't really want to narrow these up. They're already plenty narrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove material off just this side and see if we can pull this bow back into alignment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark it just right along here. Well, it ain't marking good, but I know where it is. So let's unstring it, and then we're going to remove material. So I didn't show you this, but I went ahead and I built this up just a little bit with CA on this tenon, and then I waxed it, and it's perfect. It's awesome. One reason that so I'm getting that airlock in there. It's not a very loud pop on this one, but I know it's really good because when I put it in, there's a whoosh of air that comes out, a pinpoint whoosh, not just like I can feel air movement. That tells me it's a really tight fit. So now it's just a beautiful fit. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take material off this side and see if we can correct this without thinning this up. These are itty bitty on this recurve, and you look at that and it makes the guy really nervous. Well, I can see part of the problem here too. That string groove is a little farther that way, so that's part of the problem there. But let's see if we can correct this. Could take this apart, but I don't want to get wax on my hand. So right off that edge is all we're doing. Okay, let's get our calipers and see how much we took off real quick. Okay, so right here, 269 thousandths. So we've taken a good 15 thousandths, 16 thousandths off. I'm just going to go slow. That may be enough. So I'm going to clean up those deep scratches on this one. And this will also take more off. This is going to create more of a tiller problem, but we can also fix that. So let's string it and see if it did anything at all. The string might be too short too. It is not marked on the length. I just grabbed a 60-inch string. It might be a longer bow than that. I think it is, maybe. I think it might be a 62. One thing that's really good is when I'm stringing it, there's no movement in that tenon, and that's what we're looking for. It's not wanting to come out or anything really weird. Okay, so letting go of it, I can already see it's still pulling to that side, I believe. Yeah, but it's better. So it's better than it was. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's still coming out of there. See here. Yeah, that's straight. Wow, that is terrifying. Hmm. I'm gonna try thinning it. I'm just gonna take a little bit off down in here. So let's go over to the flat sander and take just a hair off. Man, this is just a different animal. It's not responding like wood and glass bows do. Oh, it's making me nervous because it's pulling that way. So it's got to be fixed by taking it off of here. All right. Well, let's try a different approach. So you can see I've created a tiller problem, a really bad tiller problem here. I'm going to correct that before I finish straighten it, because sometimes if the tiller is a long ways off, it can make the limb do funny things. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top limb down. See, I'm going to measure this real quick. Still got a tiller problem, so sorry. It's not moving. This is crazy. I'm on 120 grit and it's not moving. There, it moved. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Okay, good. I got about even tiller now. So now I'm going to clean up those marks and smooth out the transitions. And that'll change the tiller even more, but that will give me more room to work with the bottom limb. Okay. Yeah. That's good. I'll probably have to adjust the tiller later on anyway. Oh yeah, that made a difference just in the twist. Sure did. That made a huge difference. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll this over and round this and see if, get it back to where this side looks like and see if that's enough to take the twist out. It probably won't be, but kind of a difficult bow to work on. to do that, I need a softer, I need this to be a lot softer. About like that. Okay. Yeah, that's taking it off. Man, I really want this to be easy to tune this thing. The video was supposed to be about making it a two-piece, but here we are having trouble with this all-glass bow, and there's no reason to send it back out with a twist in it. Doesn't matter what you do to it, even if you make it a two-piece, you can't shoot it if it's got a twist in it. I had thought about using heat and clamping it over and see if that moves it. And I may do that because I'm only going to go so far on, so I don't want to skinny that limb up. I haven't even been able to check the weight on it yet. Okay. Oh my word. I straightened that sucker. I straightened it. Yes, I did. I think it's perfectly straight now. It's really, really close. It doesn't look it's straight enough to shoot. Sure, I have a tiller problem now, but now I want to measure the weight. Okay. So that's what I was afraid of. That bow's only a 40-pounder now. It's marked at 45. I don't know what it started out as. But you can't. The deal is, it doesn't matter what it was. If it's twisted, you can't shoot it. And I know I didn't put a twist in it when I two-pieced it. Oh, wow. I don't know. That doesn't look good. It's laying back in there straight, but it's a different animal to work on. It's a different animal. Okay, let me check the tiller now. Oh, it didn't get much out of tiller. I can fix that real quick. Let's just fix that, and then we'll shoot it. Okay, that's really, really close. Right now it's tillered for about, if you're going to precisely tiller, it's tillered for 3 under now. So I think I'm going to try to shoot it. I don't know. This is the weirdest thing ever. I can draw it. It looks like that limb is twisting when I draw it, but it lays right back down in that groove. I would like to straighten it more, but I think what I'm going to do, because I've already dropped it, well, I don't know what it started out at, and I messed up. I almost never do that. Usually the first thing I do is when I'm going to work on a bow is string it and check the tune, but I didn't on this one for some reason. I guess I was so focused on making a two-piece out of it and how I was going to do that that I failed to do that. I wish I would have, because I would have known where I started out at, because it's marked at 45. Now, it's highly unlikely it was dead on 45. It's a 60 or 70-year-old bow. So, who knows what it started out as. I know it was higher than what it is now, though. But when I look at that, that limb is perfectly straight. But when I draw it, it draws like it's not. So, I don't know. I think a guy could shoot it. Let's go try it. I guess the worst that can happen is it breaks. Even if I have to buy the fella a new bow, you can get them on eBay for 50 or 60 bucks, so I'll be okay. I don't know what's going to happen here. I really don't. You don't think of being a bowyer as something you have to have courage to do, but when you're trying new things, it does hurt when they break. That's impressive.
Hand shot?
No.
Really?
I just didn't expect it to shoot that good. You seen how I shot it. I didn't anchor. I held it away from my face on purpose, so I didn't get something.
You want the safety glasses?
Yeah, probably. Because I don't know what would happen if all fiberglass bows shattered and went in your eye. It would not be good. But it centered perfectly right back in the groove. So
if it shattered, I'd expect it to be relatively impressive.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. I would probably have a fiberglass limb for a nose. The funny thing is I built this two-piece, and I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about this limb, but now it looks great. Okay. Ouch. No, I just held my hand up too high and caught some fletching. I don't know, because when I draw it, it looks like that limb is twisted, but it falls right back perfect. And I don't know. God, shoots good.
It's not the fastest thing.
No.
At the same time.
It's not that fast.
It's not dead slow.
It's shooting to the left hard on me, but that's because it's so thick. For some reason, it's hitting my hand, the fletching, like it's throwing that arrow down to the left and down. Now, that knocking point's way too low, so let me try it. Split finger. No, it still did it. Why is it doing that?
Because when your hand's going up,
you're
having the same issue I have with every longbow.
No, I don't ever have this issue shooting longbows, ever.
Yeah, but you're shooting more off your hand here.
Not really, there's a shelf there. Okay, that worked, and that was a laser beam. Man, that flew beautiful. It may be super sensitive to arrow tune.
Oh, yeah.
Because because like these here, it felt totally different. Yeah, those are like lasers. But these big heavy ones, here's a lighter one.
Are you putting more pressure on the bottom of your hand or the top?
Well, now I'm gun shy. Oh, that was beautiful. I'm going to try a heavy one again. Now, That's an interesting experience right there. It works. It works perfectly. The limb. Here's the crazy thing. This limb, when it's drawn or when it's strung, I can look down and that limb is straight. It looks just like this one. It's it's straight. But when I draw it, I can look down here and it looks like it's going bloop. So that's weird. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw it upside down and look at this one. No, that one don't look that way. See if you can see this. Can you see this? Hmm. Hey, watch that bottom limb when you draw it. See that? It looks like it squirrels off to the left. Try it again here. See, to me, that looks like it's squirreling off to the left. But whenever it fires, it's right back in the string groove. When you sight down it, it looks straight. See it squirting off to the left there? That's so weird. But it falls directly back in the center. And it looks straight. It's the weirdest thing ever. I'm going to shoot it again here. Shoots great. I wonder if that little snap I'm hearing is from it hitting the side of the string groove, or if it's from the fletchings. I don't know. Well, I mean, it performs perfectly. So it looks straight. So I don't know what else to do other than, I mean, it makes, when you look at it, it makes you nervous. But if it looks straight and it performs good, even though it looks funky when you draw it, but then why does the top limb look straight when you draw it? That's throwing me off. When I draw it, dude, that looks straight. It's a different animal. That's all I'm going to say. It's a different animal right here. I don't know why. Yeah, it's okay, there it looks straight. Well, that may have been it. I moved that string over. Hey, it's working good, so we're going to leave it. You can only straighten it till it looks straight. And after that, if it works perfect, even though it looks weird when you draw it, then you're probably good to go. Okay. So we got it tuned. Now let's just finish up this sleeve real quick. And we'll be about done. Alright guys, so here she is, completely finished. I put a 3 or 4 coats of finish on it, dull hunting finish. It really, actually it finished out very nice. I'm surprised at how good it looks. It kind of had some junk on it, some scratches, and I sanded all those out. And we're going to go ahead and put leather on it. I wanted to show it to you after it got out of the spray booth, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Now we're going to do another one. We probably won't film that one. I might just show the finished product, but it's a heavier one, and that one we're going to stain this brown so that it looks natural with the brown leather. This one here we wanted to make a vintage and original, but There's the tenon out of it. Super, super tight fit. When I put it in, I can feel air coming out hitting my hand. That's how you know you got a tight fit. When I pull it, it makes the little pop. I'll see if you can hear it. Can't hardly hear it. I can hear it, but it makes a little pop, which means that it's an airlock. That means it's a really tight fit. Let me get it right close to the mic here. There we go. Yeah, so it's just fantastic. No movement once it's in, but it's still easy to slide in and take apart. So that's what we're after. So do it again here. Oh yeah. Lovely. So I'm very, very happy with it. Turned out beautifully. This one's 40 pounds. So we'll get the leather on it and then we'll show it completely finished. Alright guys, the Paul Bunyan bow is done. Turned out absolutely fantastic. And I want to introduce you guys to my wife. This is Carissa. And she does the leather work, and she did just a beautiful job here of putting this leather on this Paul Bunyan contoured grip. I'm going to let her talk a little bit about how she got it fit so tight here.
So I made sure I fit the top part perfectly, fit that nicely, and then I cut it so that when I stitched it on, it would be really tight. I left this part too long, and then I pulled it apart and trimmed it around here with the bottom limb out. That made it very easy to get this bottom part nice and perfect.
And it's beautiful. It is an absolute tight, perfect fit. It feels exactly like the original. And you can see the tenon there. See how nice that turned out on the tenon. Actually, that'd be the socket, sorry. Here's the tenon. But going together, really nice fit. Turned out really beautiful. I didn't actually think it would turn out this good, but it really is a nice fit. So we're going to do another one. This is a 40 pounder. We're going to do another one, 50 pounder for my customer's moose hunt. I believe it's in Alaska or somewhere. He's going to take it apart to ship it. So hopefully this works really, really well for him. Makes it really versatile. So now that I've done one, I could do the next one in half the time, and it's fairly simple. But every time you do something new, you got to really analyze it and make sure you're getting it right. So there it is, guys. The Paul Bunyan solid fiberglass recurve bow made into a two-piece, wrapped with leather, buckskin, and she's ready for the woods. Thanks for watching.